Okay, this says we're published. Says we're live. All right, very cool. All right, so we are live today, and I am going to go over a new interface setup, and we're also going to talk about a little bit of the NAMM show before I have to head over to the church and play for the last night of VBS here at Parkway Baptist Church here in Smyrna, Tennessee. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting up my new RME interface. This is the RME UFX. I think it came out maybe 2010 to 2012. It's pretty old. It's an old unit, but I found a guy on Reverb selling it for a really good price. And I wanted to get into the RME family of brands here, so I'm definitely checking it out. So there's a few different options that really drew me to this unit, and more particularly, it has the 16 channels of ADAT right here. Okay, so I can hook up two of my Arturia Audio Fuse 8 Pre units and get additionally basically 12 inputs on the Fireface and then another 16. So it's a lot. It's like 28 inputs or something. Something crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this thing around here and show something like this. Maybe bend it down. Yeah, something like that. Alright, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going to take out the PreSonus, which is already unhooked in the back. I'm going to move down the 8 Pre probably to, I don't know, maybe to this position here. Then put the RME right on top, and then the I don't know, I might move everything down just sitting on top of here just to have a little bit of a gap in between the Furman power supply and the top unit. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna figure that out. Just gonna figure it out. So let's move the light down a little bit, so you maybe see what I'm doing. There we go. Something like that. Let me turn off my amplifier here. All right, so we are live, I think. Should be live. And there we go. So I got the comments pulled up here on my computer and just making sure everything is going the way it should be here. Get past this advertisement. Sorry. All right, here we go. So what's up, Francis and Elizabeth? So let's use our trusty power tool, and we're gonna take this first thing off. Much faster to do it that way versus the other way of doing things. So let's do this. And like I said, I am going to the NAMM show tomorrow. So if you have any questions about that, be sure to let me know. I really have no plans other than just walking around, seeing what's new this year. I know I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to get some footage on my phone and take my GoPro. And mainly the reason for that is it has it basically has like a 5-hour battery life. And the audio's not that great, but you know, the NAMM show is really not all that great for audio. But it's really just more about the footage and all that. So that's the main thing. So here's a Studio Live right here. And it's a great unit, but I just really wanted to step up to an RME because I know they're just a little bit better as far as like drivers and converters and all that fun stuff. So, and plus what I was doing with the 8 Pre was I was going out of the analog outputs and using a cable to go into the inputs of the Studio Live. And I was like, man, it would just be better if we did ADAT versus cables. I see we got 6 viewers, so if you're watching, be sure to leave your name, where you're from, and if you have any questions for me about studio gear, rack spaces, NAMM show, anything like that. Now, I just realized I probably need to have my my screws for the actual rack. That would probably be good, right? My phone just fell. And I have all this stuff down here. Let me show you my crazy. I got just a drawer full of stuff. I actually think I know. All right, I know where it's at. Let's go to the garage for a second. All right, sorry about that. That's a little embarrassing, but I was trying to find my screws. Where are my screws for my rack mount? I do this all the time. Very unorganized. But if anything, I'll just move one rack and just kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So let's see, what do I want to do? What do I want to do here? Let's get this other 8 Pre so you can see what that looks going to look like. So here's the other 8 Pre unit. So there's 8 and then another 8. And what's great about this is the two, let me bring this up here. Reamping the headrest gig board, I tired. Can I get to work? Reamping. There's a good video on YouTube, Francis. They do how to use Pro Tools to actually no, forget that. There's a guy, that pedal guy on YouTube. He has a good video on reamping. So just look for headrush reamp and you'll find that pedal guy. Or pedal guy, whatever his name is. And that'll work for that. So I really wish I knew where my screws were. Because otherwise, let me do this. Let me just, I'm just going to lay it all down here on top of each other. And then I'll figure out what the screws are later. How about that? That'll make it easy. Surely that'll be easier. Elizabeth, what were you saying it would help? Yes, it would help. Probably if I had my screws, right? That's what you're talking about. Okay. We got those. We got these. We got stuff flying everywhere. One more over here. I really like power tools for this situation. It just makes it easy. Ever try reamp? Yes, I did a reamp. I feel like I have a reamp video. I did it sometime. I don't usually do it because I just record straight. You know, I get the sound of the guitar first and then I just record it. I don't ever do like a dry guitar and then reamp it later. It just doesn't make sense to me to not commit to the sound you want. I know, Elizabeth, I really need my screws. I don't know where they are. Problem is I got just stuff everywhere. And they should be down here in my drawers, but they're not. But that's fine. Alright, so here's the rough plan here. So I'm just gonna set it in here. Oh, hello. That looks great. That looks great. Alright, so let's plug it in to the back. Excuse me for a second. Actually, I bet you they're in here. I bet you anything they're in here somewhere. I'm still going to have to find them later. Alright, found the cable. Found my two ADAC cables. Yeah! Alright, here they are, folks. Here's my screws. So what happened is I was cleaning out a bunch of stuff. I just threw a bunch of stuff in a box and then you don't remember what you did with them, which is typical of me. So this is what an ADAC connection looks like. I don't know if you can really see that well. But there's the ADAC. And this is how I've been doing it. Just wanted to see. Yeah. So there's the ADAC cables. That's going to connect to the back. And I'll move to the back here in a second. Here's obviously the power cable, right? So let's plug this stuff in like so. And I do have a nice Furman power supply. So we'll plug that up on top. And we should be on, which we are. Okay, great. I'm going to put my headphones on so I can, well, I don't want to do that because I have a lag in the audio for what I'm seeing. But that's fine. All right, let's move this up just a tad. Just a tad, like, maybe like that. Maybe. Then maybe move it a little bit closer. Maybe. Okay. This clearly didn't work. Trying to get a little bit closer here. All right. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. All right. So this is great. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have my 16-channel snake coming into these 16 channels right here. Okay, that's going to be on the back of the unit. But what's cool about the 8 pre's is you see the combo jacks on the front. That does not mean it's 1 and 2 and then 3 through 8 on the back. It's actually all 8 inputs on the back. But if you plug something into the front right here, let me grab a cable. If I have something into the back of the unit and I plug something in here, it's just going to switch. So that means I can use the front inputs as like a dual purpose kind of situation. And I like that a lot. So what that gives me is essentially 8 inputs right on the front right here that I can use here in the control room. And I can hook up some cables that go out into the garage. Maybe put some microphones out there. Thank the Lord I found them. Yes, sir, I did. Sure did. So I think these mic pre's are around maybe 65 to 70 dB of gain. So this would easily handle all kinds of stuff. Now, you're not going to be able to see this all that well. And I'm definitely going to do a way better video. I just wanted to do a quick live stream, kind of get a rough setup, and just do it that way. And let me do this. Let me just take that off so I can kind of move it around. Is it going to focus at all? Maybe not. So what we have here, we have the mic instrument gain for 9 and 10, 11 and 12. See, I can bring the gain up and down. Get that really close, like that. Let me move the light out of the way so it focuses a little bit more, maybe. So there's that. So I can choose between different mic gains, which is neat. Then I think if I just press, that does something. All right, here's the main outs. Press it again, there's the phones, and there's a second set of phones. Yeah, this isn't focusing all that well, but so that's really cool. And then you got the meters, record, playback. This is for the internal USB port right here, which I can put in a thumb drive, and I can record all the tracks directly to a thumb drive, which is really cool. Channel, analog in. There's all the ADAT stuff right there. This Mevo is really not the greatest for like focusing. It's really meant for like, this kind of stuff. You can kind of tell the coloration's all not that great and just whatever. It's just, it is what it is. But it looks pretty good. Looks good enough for a live stream, right? So let's get a good bit of lighting over here. Now the question is, do I want a break between the power supply and the top unit? So let's go to the back and let's see how that looks in the back here. Something like that. Kind of give it a little bit of light. So you can see that the RME is not as deep as the Arturia units. And my fear is I want to have a little bit of space to be able to reach the IEC sockets, the power supplies back here. So this might work. I mean, this is pretty good. This is pretty good right here. You can see I got, here's the rest of the snake right here. Man. So we got all this. That's going to connect down here. I don't need these outputs anymore, so I can unhook all that. And then my ADAT stuff is going to go, I'm going to go ADAT out 1 into the ADAT in 1, and then ADAT out 2, right? Yeah, 1 and 2 into the ADAT in 2. Okay, so that's how I'm going to connect these two units, and it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to have, I could possibly put in like a little patch bay on the top. I don't really need it, because for the 8 line inputs on the side over here, I'm going to use that for Yeah, here's my studio. It's a wreck. It's a total wreck. But I'm going to use that for like the gig board connections and all that fun stuff. So let's get the light back over here. Then I'm probably going to have to head over to the church. But this looks pretty good. The only thing I would say about, you know, having these drawers here is you can see, like, if I pull the drawer out, the cable kind of like gets in the way a little bit. So it's just a matter of, you know, if I'm going to plug something in, maybe over direct the cables this way and maybe have it on a hook on the side just so everything's nice and clean, possibly. Hey, thanks Francis for saying about the stream. Yeah, I mean, it's good enough for a stream, that's for sure. So you can see that if I do this here, so if I plug it in down here, you know, that cable is just right in the way. So if I want to open up this drawer, I have to deal with all the cables dangling down. It's not a huge deal, really. Not really a huge deal. It's just the way it is. I feel like there is a talkback option on here somewhere, because there's a controller called the ARC, A-R-C, and that can connect to the computer, and that gives me control over a lot of the, like the main out volumes, stuff like that. You can kind of see a little bit better there. So I can control the volume. I do have this, the PreSonus monitor station, and this is what I currently was using to feed signal from my my studio monitors here. I have a KRK V8 and the new Aventone CLA 10s. I think they've been out for maybe about 2 years or so. Well, I got them just before Christmas, and I got them from Sweetwater. And I mainly got them because I wanted another option to listen through. And I know the Yamaha NS10s are, you know, I'm going to flip this around. The Yamaha NS10s are really like an industry standard as far as like studio monitors. And they don't sound amazing. They're meant to sound like a really, kind of like a grocery store speaker, or like your old AM radio kind of speaker. But what happens is, if you can get your mix sounding good on a pair of NS10s, then your mix will pretty much translate to any system out there. So what I did last night was I listened to the CLA 10s, then I would put on my headphones to listen for the bass response. But the CLA 10s made sure my vocals were in a good spot. You know, the guitars weren't too loud, the drums were sitting where they need to be. The bass, I could actually hear the bass on these smaller speakers. I don't want to say they're smaller speakers, but like normally NS10s, you can't really hear the bass all that well. And if you can hear bass or the bass notes or the part on those kind of speakers, then you know it's going to be a good, you know, balance of the bass and all that stuff. Because sometimes if you don't account for that, then you go listen on your phone or maybe laptop speakers, you're like, what? I don't hear the bass. Where'd the bass go? So you got to make sure those upper mids are prominent enough in the mix where the bass pokes through and you can hear all that. So that's how all that works. I just zoomed in on myself. Hello. Learning how to do all that. All right, guys, this is about 7:38. I'm gonna have to head over to the church, but I just want to give you a quick live stream, show you my initial setup here in the rack. I may still bring this up a little higher just to clear the, clear all this stuff right here. Maybe not. I don't know. It is what it is. I might eventually. Really, what I'm going to do eventually is, I have this Tascam controller I'm gonna make some videos with it and then probably just either trade for something else or sell it off because I don't really need it. And plus, it takes up my whole desk space. So really, my goal is to have this stuff in a separate rack and have my speakers sitting on this little meter bridge kind of thing going on across the whole backside of the desk. And then I would love to have a piano tray to pull out under here. Then have a keyboard on top. But preferably have like a 16 channel controller. That'll leave room for, you know, my headrush gig board, some other stuff, all the end stuff I want to put on the desk. But like you can see, like from here over, she's taking up the whole desk, and really all I need is 16 inputs or 16 faders to work with. So if I can get rid of, you know, all this over here and just have the faders, that will free up a lot of space on the desk. But for now, I'll use it for what it is and do some videos with it and just have some fun with it. So here's a very little Microlab Arturia keyboard. Once again, there's my my studio monitors here, and got my Roland TD1K drum kit, which is really good. My Eastman acoustic, which is really nice. I like that. And there's some Reverend guitars, an Eastman Les Paul, and a Reverend 6-gun, which is my Strat style guitar. And then Blue Guitar Amp 1 right here, going through a 2x12 cab. And I'm not sure where my gig board went. It's somewhere. Oh, it's down here. I had to move it out of the way because it was in the way. Love the tour. Oh yeah, well, I'm trying to get my my gear situated so I can finally start making plans for like a proper desk. But for now, I've had this makeshift desk for like, shoot, close to 10 years now. It's literally just a few pieces of wood screwed together and just sturdy enough to hold stuff. So, but yeah, I will be taking lots of footage tomorrow for the NAMM show. So if you have any questions, send me a private message or just comment down on this video, and I'll be sure to gather up all the information and try to get the footage that you guys want to see, because I know it's very limited this year on what's available to the public. So, but thanks guys for watching. I gotta hightail it out of here, and I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.